Hey guys, so I've been meaning to do a analysis of one or two plays that I thought were good to kind of look back on. So the first one that I wanted to look at was actually one of our our games of eights from the other week. So we're playing Recharge. Our team is down by one round. It's basically the start of the brand new round. Camo's still being fought for at this point. And that's kind of where it starts. So I'll play through the clip first, and then I'll kind of break down what I think we should do differently.
C plat's one shot.
They're on turbine. I can grapple this ball. I'm not gonna hold this ball.
They're coming
Steve, can
gold.
you get?
Turbine. Another one turbine.
I'm behind them at turbine.
Nice, Steve. Good ball, Steve, good ball.
There's another
Come
one.
on. Okay. Got him.
Four
Hold
dead,
the
four dead.
Ball, man.
I'm getting ball. Oh, you're okay. You're on it.
Well, I have camo, man.
I'm
but
watching
yeah,
attic.
Okay.
Okay, I'll get ammo.
Maintenance
Mate,
stairs.
or net. Some of you guys gotta get to this one.
Or I'll get it. I'll get it.
It's fine, it's fine. My camo's gone. They're at orange.
He's coming. Nice.
Bottom mid, I'm
Uh,
rotating away.
One shot at A. He dropped down to Mangler. Or yeah,
It's
there.
gonna come like up the ledge.
So that's kind of the play in a nutshell. So I'll take it back and kind of explain what I think we should have maybe done a little bit differently, or some of the things that kind of came up to it. So a little bit more context here. You can see on the scorecard that for the most part, our team is slaying pretty well. Nate's having a bit of a rough game. He's getting caught out in the open a little bit, but he's still communicating really, really well. So there's that piece of it to factor into it here as well. So we kind of start, I'm going to just fast forward a bit here. So this is kind of where the play starts. So I lose a fight to Jay. Nate goes down, but Sam managed to pick up camo. So Trace picked it up. He didn't burn it. We managed to get it, which frankly, we had no business in taking it. Sam grapples the ball up to take control of it, brings it into pipes. I get a really strong spawn here. So you can see that we've got pretty solid control of pipes at this point, and Nate's coming back off the respawn. Penny just goes down, so we're gonna have a man advantage here any minute as soon as Nate comes up. We get another kill over in pipe somewhere, and then we're about to get another one here. So by all accounts, we have ball control. Steve ends up getting the shock rifle. Sam has camo at this point, and we're just generally in a pretty decent map position. So right after my kill, I move over towards top A to take map position. Nate goes down towards needles, and Steve's over by gold. So we're all fanned out, but Sam actually calls for Steve to pick up the ball, mainly because just a few seconds earlier, Steve and Sam, as you can see here, are basically on top of one another. Sam's got camo. So now Steve here has a really good reason to not want to pick up ball. He's got shock rifle, right? I don't really feel like picking up the ball because I'm already in a position where I can start to move over to A, particularly after we get our kills. So we're really focusing on trying to take map position, and we can do that. And since Sam has already called on Steve to pick up the ball, I think, okay, Steve will grab ball. I'm clear. I'm going to go get map position. Nate's in a good position there at needles, and with Steve being in gold, things are actually looking really, really, really good here. We can basically see the entire map, and we have ball. The problem is Sam's the one holding ball, and he's got camo right now. And what you hear afterwards that ensues is basically just a bunch of indecision. And I think that's the biggest problem that we ran into with it, is with all of the indecision of Steve pick up the ball, and then there's a point where Steve says, okay, I'll pick up the ball. And then he sees that Sam has the ball, so he doubles back to his other position there. Sam then calls out for me to end, myself or Nate to pick up the ball, and so we end up turning around, and so that's right there where I end up saying, oh, I guess I got to go get ball, but now they're on top of each other. So the big problem is here is the breakdown in communication ended up being that we lost some really valuable time where we could have been taking map position. You can see that if Steve was able to have stayed gold, you know, I immediately here start taking shots across at Penny. If somebody was in gold, we could have easily mopped up that kill. There's a grenade right behind Penny. He's going to get fucking lit. I mean, he dies anyways, but it just that extra level of control that would have really secured it, where we've ended up pushing more onto A side. And I don't have any cover here. If Steve was able to beat gold, particularly with shock rifle, you can see here right now, or Ethan manages to sneak up on me. If Steve was over across map, he would have been able to cover that angle, and I might be win this fight. Frankly, I got 2 shots in a melee. I think I should have won this fight anyways, but that's Halo. So then we lose here, and this is where things, you know, I don't think they crumble. We end up just retaining control, and it's fine. But now we're kind of scrambling. We've got 2 guys dead. Steve's or Sam's at half. We're not collecting ball time. You know, it just where we had a really strong potential setup there. So that's kind of like the breakdown on what's ended up happening here. I think the things that really stand out is like everybody's slaying pretty well, maybe with the exception of Nate in this case, as I kind of mentioned, just having a rough game, which is perfectly fine. But what I think maybe the better play would have been is when Steve and Sam were on top of one another. You know, either one of them should have picked up the ball. But I think the better play would have been for Steve to drop the shock rifle to Sam. Sam's got camo. He can't get rid of it, right? And there's some valuable time that we have there. He could have used that camo and the shock rifle to end up securing maybe a kill. You know, he can push, he can be aggressive. You know, maybe we just get a pick off of it. And the whole time that's happening, we're collecting ball time because Steve's holding. You know, and from there, we maybe would have been able to have kept that map position. So that's kind of how I think that this one should have been replayed. So just one more time to see how it's played out. We grab ball, you know, Sam drops it off, and he actually makes out the call out that says like, I'm grabbing this, but I'm not holding ball.
I'm not gonna hold this ball.
They're coming.
Right. So he's made his intention pretty clear that like, hey, I'm taking the ball for control, but like, I'm not picking this up. Right. Yeah. And then he immediately asked Steve to pick it up right after.
Turbine. Another one turbine.
I'm behind them at turbine.
Steve doesn't respond to Sam's call, so nobody's really, like, at this point, I have no reason to assume Steve isn't going to pick up the ball. I also I'm not entirely sure what's going on with them. They could be engaged in a fight right now, which they are, and you can see that they get some kills. Now, here's the point where we should be picking up the ball. We know there's one guy in turbine. Ball's all alone. Like, maybe somebody helps me pick it up. Sam again calls for Steve to pick up the ball. Doesn't happen. Steve begins to make his push over to C plat, or sorry, top gold. I still think at this point that Steve's on ball duty. You know, he's been asked to do it. I have no reason that I think I'm going to do it. By all accounts, everybody is, you know, all of us are slaying pretty well at this point. So like, it causes a lot of confusion just from a communication standpoint.
4 dead, 4 dead.
Ball, man.
I'm getting ball. Oh,
So there, Sam calls out to get the ball. Steve finally says, okay, I'll get the ball, but he's no longer in a really good position to do that. Sam's the best one. Maybe Nate's at needles right now. He's not slaying well. You know, maybe he could have gone back to get the ball. But Nate also doesn't have any reason to think that he's on ball duty. You know, Sam and Steve have been going back and forth on who's going to hold the ball. Nate's in a position, right? Like, he's holding angles for us at this point. So there's no reason for Nate to think about doing it.
you're on it.
Well,
Steve then says, oh, you've got the ball. Never mind, I'm out, right?
camo, man.
I'm
but
watching
yeah,
attic.
okay.
Okay, I'll get ammo.
Maintenance
Nate
stairs.
or Nate, somebody you guys gotta get to this one.
So Sam then calls for Nate or I to call. Now, we both look away from our angles, so we officially have 0 map control here. I actually can't tell if Nate's actually looking away. It looks like he's still in a fight, not entirely certain, but I certainly give up my angle. You know, this is an opportunity for the other team to push through. We have no coverage in attic. You know, if somebody happened to be running through right then, we could have easily just, you know, our setup could have really crumbled right here.
And I'll get it.
And we're also clumped up in gold pipes. Nobody looking cross angles.
Okay.
You know, fine, we get this kill. But I haven't, but because I looked away, Ethan has actually managed to cross over from top control into the corner up here, and I haven't seen that at all. Nobody's had eyes on that. And if somebody had been top gold, this wouldn't have been an issue.
It's fine, it's fine. My camo's gone. They're at orange.
And here's Ethan, right? He gets a melee. I get 1, 2 shots and a melee. I think he should have fucking died, or at least a trade.
Bottom mid.
Doesn't happen.
One
He
shot
just
at A,
walks it
dropped
off.
down to Mangler.
You know, we've got a flank.
He's gonna come like up the ledge.
Oh, fuck me.
He's gonna come in Mangler Pit, I think.
Yeah, Mangler.
Control.
Top,
Enter.
top overhang.
And you can just see here that Sam's getting collapsed on. He's got 3 people. I'm trying to assist him cross map, but he's going to get dropped on from elevator. I can't help him with that. He's got somebody in pit who I don't really have an angle on. There's also one guy just off to the left in whirlpool. Like, by all accounts, we either have to rotate into an area where the enemy just was, which isn't great. We have to play it out. Like, our setup just kind of went to shit here. So I think that's kind of it for the play, though.
I'm gonna go
Shot
to
Mangler Pit.
turbine.
One shot, man. Penny's in, too.
And then play just kind of resumes on. So that's kind of my analysis of what I think we should have done differently. I think the best play to make in that situation is for Steve to drop Shock over to Sam. We're putting our eggs in one basket there. If Sam dies with camo and Shock, well, you know, that sucks. But at the same time, I still think that's the best play in that situation. So let me know what you thought, and we can chat about it more.